Welcome back to Banter and Beauty Bosses. I'm your host, Sami Pelling, and I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Emma Thomas. Whether you're tuning in on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, we're happy to have you with us today. Emma's obviously in her car today because she's so committed to this podcast that she's here. I'm having to do this on my phone because my laptop's decided to say, no, not today. So yeah, here we are. Today, we are just being real and just going with the flow because that's how our day's been today. So come on, Emma, let's tell me what subject we want to do today.
Okay, everyone. So what we're going to talk about today is fake news. Now, we've heard this for years and years from, I'm not even going to mention his name because for fear of being kicked out of everything at the moment, but we've heard about fake news for years. But have you ever thought about the fake news you're getting in this industry, in the nail and beauty industry? So what I mean by fake news is basically opinions rather than facts. How many of you are involved in Facebook groups or Instagram groups or whatever? You get advice from people, but the advice is basically from another person, not actually a fact-based. So that's what we're going to be exploring today and talking about that.
Yeah, because you've got, like, there's certain places like Professional Beauty, Scratch Magazine, things like that. If you're getting your information from them, it's more likely to be factual than it is to be like fiction and someone's just made it up because they do a lot of research.
Yeah, so I'm sure Sami will agree with me in this. So you see in lots of different groups, in Facebook groups, that's very, very opinion-based. And opinion-based is great, but when people take that as fact, it's really unhealthy and quite toxic. It then leads to a bit of a bullying culture, really, whether we're bullying and going against a company or individual therapists or nail techs or what their beliefs are. It's becoming a bit tricky. And I mean, I've seen some things recently where, like in a lash group, where somebody was testing lashes up behind the ear, lash glue behind the ear, which is like, no, there's
Why
no
are you
point in
doing
doing that. But yeah. But then you've got other people in the group saying, oh, yeah, I got taught how to do it that way. And it becomes a safety in numbers type of thing. So even though it's not necessarily the right way to do it, the fact that other people are doing it makes you then feel a little bit more like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, even though it's not right. You know, and
See,
like with brand bashing as well,
when I did my lash training, it was a case of they wanted you to do like literally was like 4 or 5 lashes on each corner, and that was it. That was your lash test. And I'm like,
that's your
yes and no, but at the same time, I'm thinking you're not getting as much exposure as you would for a full set.
No, not
so
at all.
How would you still know?
No, I mean, no patch test is ever 100%
even with colour,
risk-free.
hair colours.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays they say that if you patch test and you don't get an allergic reaction, it doesn't mean you won't get an allergic reaction on the day, because obviously, like you just said, Sami, the amount of product in that area and the amount you're exposed to is massively different to what happens on a patch test. But it's stuff like that. That's the thing, that people aren't tending to go to industry experts. And it feels like in the field now, the industry experts, they're not few and far between, but I think they've all ended up being quite silent because of this online culture of, bullying, basically. There's no other word for it, is there? If you're putting other people down, is there a type of bullying?
Yeah, I do agree. I also feel like I've been in some groups and it's like, oh, you can only talk about certain brands in this like group. And like, you can't talk about other ones, or you'll get like, for use, I can't believe you use that brand. And it's like, but not everyone is going to have the same, like, everyone's different. So everyone's going to find their niche. Everyone's going to find their brands. Everyone's going to find what suits them to an individual. You know, you've got so many different brands out there. I mean, I even saw like Gelish, right? They've been around for years and years. And I saw a post the other day and someone was like, I'm used this brand, but do you feel like they use Gelish? They've been using it for years. Absolutely love it. The amount of people that then attacked this woman because she uses Gelish. Oh my God, that's a rubbish brand. And I was like, no, it's literally been around for years. Oh, it's too watery. It's too this or it's too that. And I'm like, oh, it shrinks. Yeah, but I think any brand that you use, if you don't use it correctly, could do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, there's nothing against Gelish. This is not anything. This is just an example of a brand that's been out for years is getting the person who's using it is getting basically, oh my God, I can't believe, you should be using this brand instead. And you should be using like Magpie, or you should be using Glitter Bells, or, there's all these other brands. And I'm like, but then I personally wouldn't use some of the brands that people are recommending, but that's my personal choice.
Oh.
But I wouldn't turn around and go, I wouldn't use them. I think it is like, obviously it depends on who you educated with. So say you've done an online course or in-person course with a certain brand for their products, because it's good to know how each brand products use and work. Like, you should really do some sort of training with different brands just to make sure that they're that they do connect. Like, do you know what I mean? That they are good still, and you know what you're using, you know how to use their products. It's kind of like, every brand has its own way of doing things. And that's
definitely.
That's okay. I've kind of literally lost my train of thought there. This is
how
I
is your
work
signal playing up?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm watching it and I can see you, and then it's doing some like I don't know if that'll come through on the video, or whether it's that's the only reason to lose train of thought.
Apparently I now have 4G, so fingers crossed.
Excellent.
So we'll see.
I think there's probably going to be a load of overlap of me and Sami talking to each other, because I don't know about you, but I think we must have a slight lag in our conversation. So I think you've stopped, so I jump in, and then it may be like, so I'm really sorry to anyone that's watching this who's seeing Emma being like jumping. It's not on purpose, although I am passionate about this subject. It's like everything. The reason why there are so many brands around is because not one size suits everybody, not one size fits all. So we all like to try different things. Something that I use may not suit you. Something that you not use, I might find really watery or whatever. The ultimate thing is making sure that you are comfortable and you're using something that's professional as well. Because the one thing I don't understand is when we're brand bashing, and yet we're brand bashing professional products. And I don't understand that when there are so many people out there using products that are coming from some of these really, really cheap stores that are using things like Amazon. This isn't a criticism to Amazon, but Amazon are selling non-professional products. So why are we quick to brand bash a professional range, but not trying to uplift the standards at the bottom? Like, stop buying that crap from Amazon. Just stop it. So if you want to use, I don't know, you want to use now.
Yeah, sorry. I was just like, sometimes you can buy stuff and it's from a second party. So it's not even from where, like, you could literally be getting like a counterfeit goods, basically.
Yeah. What happened to us having to send our certificates across to prove that we're professional? So, we're quick to, it sort of goes alongside that fact-based, who do you trust for your information? And one thing I would like to say here is that a lot of the really big experts don't ever get involved in these conversations. Some of them do. And in fairness, I know the brand you're talking about, and I know that there are a lot of experts that have come in against it, and I get it, but actually not much has been said lately other than what the history is. So I know that they've changed some of the chemicals in there, and apparently, we're not here to discuss that brand anyway, but, it's about the fake news and what's opinion and what's fact-based.
Yeah, because I think like there's I saw on TikTok actually, and it was someone saying about brands, and it was like everyone's going for X brand. I can't remember what brand it was, but there was no SDS sheets, and it's like, well, if there's no safety data sheets, why would you use them? Like, if there's no access to find out what's actually in them, like, if you go and do your research, and then you will be able to find the facts. At the end of the day, each brand got, like, if you go to their specific website, because there's quite a lot of brands that you can only buy directly from them, purely to keep it secure and safe, so that you don't get replicas online. It's professional. It's professional only products. Like, and I think that comes across in a lot of the beauty world, purely for the fact that you've got to keep your like standards high. And yes, okay, we all got to start somewhere. It's even sometimes when I see on some of these like buy sell swap sites, that you don't know what they've done with them products. You don't know how long they've had them. They could have had them over that recommended, you get the little pot at the back and it says like 18 months or things like that. There'll be products that they could be selling that they've had for 5 years. They've just opened it and used it a couple of times and then they're selling it on. And then you're not going to get the same sort of standard from that product. Like I get why some people, I mean, I would probably do it if I was just practicing with them and I wasn't using them on a client. Like in the beginning, like when you first starting out and you want to get a couple of colours in and you want to practice using it, then crack on. I was like, unless you specifically with that person and you know how long they've had them and they can prove to you that they are legit, I just don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, I bought some. Do you remember Spider Gel when that came out years and years ago? Oh, I've got a lag.
You've got lag. I can still see you.
Can you still see me? Okay. Do you remember when Spider Gel came out years ago?
Yes.
It must have been, I think I bought some during a COVID period. And I bought some from Amazon, real crap stuff, but it was in different colours. And it was used purely for nail art practice. That was it, on false nails. So it wasn't even, I would never have used it on a client, but it's totally, you know what I mean? So there are times, definitely. But ultimately, who is your expert? Who's your go-to person? How do you trust them? What's their authority in the industry? Have they got any authority? Are they just, I don't know how to put it, but just somebody who's got a loud voice?
Yeah.
Rather than somebody that actually knows what they're talking about.
Do you know what? I said this to Emma earlier, that I posted a video and I got it liked by someone in the industry. And I got so excited because I was like, I remember 11 years ago, like even 12 years ago, I used to watch her on YouTube when she did like nails and she would do like the long extensions and then she'd do like the one stroke nail art and she was just fabulous and she's still just as fabulous. And that is Gemma Lambert-Lewis, because she's an absolute darling. And I was just like, oh my God, I got so excited because to me, she is like one of the biggest experts I have ever followed, purely for the fact that she's been in the industry for such a long time. And, she's very much for educating people to make sure that they're knowing their facts, that you've got to keep doing, like, being real. And I think just who is your go-to guru in the world of nails or beauty or lashes or hair? Everyone has someone that there's their go-to. So I just thought I'd put that one in there because I was like so excited.
Yeah, I know, a little celebrity nowadays, aren't you, Sami?
Totally.
No, I agree with that. I read or heard something earlier today. I can't even think where it was. It was actually really interesting about it was about paying for advice, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for like subscriptions and memberships and stuff. We can't get everything for free. But it was a really interesting thing. I'm just trying to think what it was. It was just basically saying that, totally lost my train of thought with this one, but it was quite an important thing. And if I find it, I'll tell you later. That it was really very much along the lines of, there is so much free, real stuff out there, and there's so much that you can pay for. But just pick the right things, pick it, and work with who works for you, who you trust as well, and who you know has got your back. And I feel like we're talking about the same thing every week, actually, Sami, because I think this is such an important thing, that so many people are following others and listening to others that aren't necessarily even in the industry, or don't know what it's like in the real world in a salon, do they? They don't know what it's like to actually try and get your business up to running.
Well, you saying that, we both went on it was like a podcasty thing last week, wasn't it? And we were listening to experts. And it was so fascinating because at the end of the day, all of the people that was talking on this show were literally all experts, still doing the job. So they're still doing it, but also teaching other people about it. And I think if you keep your foot in the door and you are still actively doing the job as well as helping other people, you're going to be more knowledgeable than someone who has not been in the industry for years and they're just running off whatever. Because it's like, if you're not actively doing it, you're not seeing the trends, the cost of things, because you're not having to buy it yourself. Like the cost of products has gone so through the roof, which has then had to account for us having to put our prices up. which is not ideal for like the
Yeah.
consumer, but also for us as well as the technicians or the therapists, or, you know, it's made our job harder
Yeah.
because, but then it's a rippling effect. So it's like, well, they've got to put their prices up because their cost of the products has gone up. So it's like they've gone up, then they've gone up, and everyone's sort of, and it's like we've all got to make sure that we're actually making a living. But then when you have people that aren't in the
Yeah.
industry anymore and they're trying to advise people, oh, well, you should be doing this. Well, how would you know? You're not doing it.
When was the
That
last
makes
time you
sense.
used your own advice?
I've used my own
Yeah, I mean,
advice.
and
Yeah.
I get it, because there are people that are like some really big industry experts that aren't necessarily doing treatments anymore, but they've probably done like 20 years of treatments. They've probably had their own
Yes.
salon,
Yes.
and they've probably gone on to like be an educator in college. You know, absolutely for them, people that aren't doing in salon stuff doesn't mean that they've lost their skills. They've had 20 years of it.
Yes.
But, you know,
Yes.
we're seeing lots of people now stepping up as educators and as trainers that actually have got nothing to back it up with. And as I say, it's about the loudest voice, isn't it? You often find that people that shout the loudest aren't necessarily the people that have got the facts or the expert knowledge. Like the thing that we went to last week was really understated, wasn't it, Sammy?
Oh, I
Like,
wish more people
it
were
was so,
there.
so good. It was so good.
It made me really think, like, and it gave me ideas to share into my group, and it gave you ideas to share into your group, just
Yeah,
about like
yeah.
social media, about like, what was the other things? It was, yeah, it was social media. It was things like, where do you show up? Like, are you on Google? Have
It
you
was
got an
really
email
interesting.
list? Because it was
Yeah,
like, your email list is yours. So your clients, if you get them in an email list, that you know that you will always be able to contact them, unless obviously they got rid of their email. But it's a case of having something to be able to back it up. Like, say your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever went down, and that's it. You can't contact your clients, and you're like, oh crap, who have I got in today? Oh, I haven't got a number for them. I haven't got an email address for them. I haven't got
yeah,
any way of contacting that client.
yeah,
You're literally stumped, and it's like, wow, okay, that makes so much sense. Like, this is why I have a booking system,
yeah,
because then it has their number, it has an email
yeah,
address, it has a way of contacting them to remind them of their appointments or things like that. It's just like little things that you don't think about, but these are the experts in this industry who were talking about it all, and you're like, oh my God, I hadn't thought of it like that. It really does make you
yeah,
think outside the box.
yeah, yeah. There was a lady that was in the group last week, wasn't there, who had thousands and thousands of Facebook followers, and overnight her account got hacked and she
Yes.
lost all of her followers. I mean, she had thousands. I can't even remember the number, but it was massive, wasn't it, Sammy?
It was huge.
And she currently has 300 or something. That's what she's got now. So she lost all of those thousands and then to build that back up again, she's only been able to get 300. I mean, that's massive. But like the importance of it was that had she got email addresses for each of those people, she'd still have that contact. But yeah, I mean, this is the point of making sure that your info is from an expert, and these are people that have a real life. They've lived it really. They're not just saying to you, "Oh, yeah, go and do this."
Yeah,
They're
like you've
backing
been in the
everything
industry
up
for
with,
years. I've been in the industry for
yeah,
11 years, and I think that's quite a long time. Like, so much has changed. So much has changed
yeah,
from when I
totally,
first did all my training and all the other training I've had over the years. So much has changed.
yeah, definitely. And I don't necessarily think it's just about who's in the industry the longest. It's not about that, but it is about having the experience of the industry to back up your knowledge and experience. And one thing for me, and I know the same for Sammy, is we are both constantly learning. We don't sit back and think, we've not gone stale. We don't sit back and think, you know what, I've been doing this for so long. I know it all. We know we don't. But we go to our experts, and even though we're saying that we're experts, we go to our experts as well that help us out and give us the information, which then filters down to you. So yeah, you've got to think about where your news is coming from, what your information is. Is it real? Is it not? Do your research before you make some silly mistakes in your business and have an accident and insurance don't pay up. Yeah, you've got to be on it. Got to be on it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, because isn't it like there was so many little things, wasn't there, like that you don't really think about, and it's just that's another thing, like trying to find out as much information as I can to put it into a course, put it into a membership sort of thing to help other people, because I want you all to know the latest things. Like there was a point where, like, even just the small things like the size of the Instagram pictures, when that changed, let everyone know. You know, like when you find out information about certain systems that people use, oh, by the way, did you know? Did you know this? Did you know that if you put yourself on Google, it's easier for people to find you? Did you know that you actually don't own anything, and why a blue tick is important? You know, there's so many people out there that are making fake accounts pretending to be people that they're not. You know, it's like if I find information that's actually factual and useful for people, I will share it, because why would I not? That's my job. It's my job.
That's your job, love. That's your job. But actually, I think we're going to have to sign off with that and also say Sami has got a masterclass, not a masterclass, a membership.
I have got a membership, the Nail Mafia Empire. Come and join it. It's only £10 a month, which works out about £2.50 a week. So there's not a lot really, and you can also should be able to claim it as an expense. So yeah, come and join my membership, because I'm going to keep putting stuff in there as much as possible. We're going to do a monthly strategy session so that we can talk about it and I can help you to excel your business. Let's go. Let's do it. But no, thank you for watching.
Love it.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And we will see you on the other side. Bye.
Yeah. Maybe from our laptops next time. But, you know, we're committed.
Yes.
See you, everyone.
We did it. We made it. We completed it. Let's go. Well, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.